The gym saved my life. When I was 15 years old, I would wake up, rush to school, spend the whole day at school, come home, eat chips, chocolate, lollies, do no homework, go to sleep, and wake up again the next day and do it all over again. And when I was 15 years old, I felt sad, a lack of energy to do things, a lack of desire to socialize with other people or go out and just do things that humans do. I didn't know why that was the case. And I didn't know what I had to do to not feel that way. And if I had to go back to being my 15-year-old self now with the knowledge I have and actually try to figure out why I felt the way I did, eventually it would have boiled down to the point where I would write down my biggest insecurity is my body. Every time I would step into the change rooms to get dressed, I would feel so reluctant to do so because that meant I would have to take my shirt off. And that was something that I didn't want to do because I was insecure about how I looked. Going to the school's swimming events where I'd have to have a shirt off as well would also increase that anxiety I had. I look back on my 15-year-old self now and can see a clear correlation between what my physical appearance was and how I felt mentally. And I also look back on my 16, 17-year-old self who had just begun their fitness journey. And while by no means did he have an insane or aesthetic physique, but the fact that there was something that drove me and that there was a purpose that I had made me feel so much happier. And I don't think that correlation is by any coincidence. At the end of the day, when you ask the question, who are you? You might respond with your name. I'm Chris. But if you actually think about who are you? Well, in some respects, you are your body and you are physically what is you. So if what is physically you is causing you anxiety or causing you unhappiness, then I think you should make an effort to try and change it. Because if changing your physical appearance is something that's going to make you a lot happier, then I think you owe it to yourself to do that. In the short term, the easy decision is to resort to this body positivity movement where you kind of just trick yourself into thinking that you should be okay with how you look, no matter how you look. But in the long term, that's quite damaging to you because intrinsically you're unhappy with how you look. And the belief that you should be okay with how you look is just a facade. So nothing's actually being fixed. And in the long term, you're just progressing the unhappiness that you feel. In contrast, if you want to make a long-term change that will make you happier in the long run, the short-term decision to be made is a harder one. And it's to start training, is to start making sure your diet is on point. And that's a harder thing to do because you've got to exercise, you've got to go to the gym, you've got to eat clean. But in the long term, you will be so much happier for it. And the progress that you begin to make will lead to a shift in your mood like that. I remember when I first started looking into fitness, I hadn't even started training yet. I hadn't started lifting weights. All I had done was literally start eating less food and I started to lose weight. And in 2-3 months, I was automatically so much happier. I felt so much more comfortable in my own body. And that is really priceless. You might be thinking, oh, the gym, training, lifting, eating clean, all these things are too hard for me to do. And it's going to take so long to get to a point where I have a six-pack or have a really great body. But the thing is, in terms of your mood and what's going on with yourself mentally, huge changes begin there within a month, within 2 months. when I look back to when I first started training, when I was 16, I think, honestly, in my entire 5 years of lifting and my 5-year journey, the happiest and most fun I had with the gym was in that first 2 months of training, because there was so much progress and it was such a novel stimulus for me. It gave me a purpose and something to work towards outside meaningless grades. The fitness journey is your own. It's something that you can work towards, and all the benefit goes to you. You're not working for someone else. You're not doing essays at school for your teacher to mark. The fitness journey actually has a meaning behind it, and it's all yours. So if you are depressed, or you just feel sad, you feel anxious about things that you can't really put your finger on, sit down and think, why do I feel this way? For me, and for a lot of other young men out there, one of the biggest contributors to that feeling is their body and how they look. For me, transforming my body and starting to lift at the gym honestly changed my life so much for the better. So if you're new to the gym and you want to learn more, because it's a very intimidating environment to start out at, consider subscribing to the channel, because I will teach you and I'll show you the ropes how to start your fitness journey. So if you enjoyed this video, or if you learned anything from it, consider subscribing. We're getting to 2,000 subscribers. As always, drop a like, drop a comment, let me know your thoughts or your experience with this topic. And I do offer one-to-one coaching as well. So if you're interested in that, click the top link in the description where you can book a call with me and we can chat further. That's all from me. I'll see you later.